already know the spiel. Subtle Fraud in the building. Just came back from going to 404 Esports, having a nice little Friday night at the local. And here we are on Saturday. And I gotta admit, I didn't think we'd get this far, guys. I really didn't think we'd get this far. Not the podcast or anything of that nature. That's it. We already know we're probably going to hit episode 100 in no time. It's just the simple fact that, like, I got into the Strive beta. I'm here. I got in. But before we get into that, Subtle Fraudulence, how you been, man? You been doing all right? You been holding up good?
Yeah, I've been doing okay. You know, the week went by, and got my first shot, and I'm not
Ooh.
dead. So hey, but they said the second one is the one that's going to take you out. So
Bro, the second one gave me chills, gave me the sweats, didn't want to eat. I felt nauseous, and that happened for about 6 to 7 hours. And then, I just basically said, nah, screw it. I'm going to just sleep it off. And then I woke up. I just had a sore arm after that. But around 4 o'clock to about 11 p.m., it was not looking good. Wasn't necessarily end of days, but we definitely wasn't out here. Let's play the video games, guys. Let's stream. High fives up. No, there was not peaches and cream ice cream on this side of the world. But it be like that sometimes. It just be like that sometimes. But
well, let's hope that doesn't happen to me, because that is going to be my second shot is scheduled for the Friday of a pretty big Marvel tournament. That's supposed to happen. So the tournament is going to be on the following Saturday, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm not like so dead that I can't show up and like.
All
At
right,
the very least, practice.
so how it went for me? I mean, you were there. You saw the effects. I got mine on Friday. Then we all pulled up and had our little hangout on Saturday, and I believe that was the Mortal Kombat movie weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna be fine on Saturday. That's the case.
Yeah.
Because-
So like, and then like when you and Mike had left, that's when it just hit me all at once. Like it felt like an RKO out of nowhere. I just started sweating. I was like, and the next thing you know, I was apparently asleep in that esports gamer chair at Caudius' spot. He just taps me a couple hours later. He's like, "Hey, bro, you good?" And I'm like, "Nah, I am not." Went home, went right to sleep, and hey, we were good. I had to try to sleep it off. I'm telling you, man, it was not good. But as long as we're all vaccinated, maybe, just maybe, the herd mentality, we can all just go out and enjoy ourselves. Conventions will be coming back soon enough. I mean, hell, if our state's anything to indicate by, let's face it, folks, we are almost fully open now. You can go into restaurants now.
We've been almost fully open for several months. I'll tell you that much.
We've always been on the almost, but we basically here now. It's basically at a point now where it's like, nah, you're here. Whether you like it, whether you don't, it doesn't matter. Don't care, didn't ask, thanks, KK, bye. That's essentially where we're at with it at this point. But the CDC says, hey guys, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear your mask. And it's like, look, I understand what you're saying, but it's fuck you o'clock. I'm wearing the mask, all right? I'm wearing it until we hit the magical number of 85% being vaccinated, because we're still in the 30s right now, which is much better than where we thought we would be at this point. But not quite where we need to be to, be 100%, fully safe out there. Especially with how, diseases are contracted and how, let's face it, we live in the South. Everybody going to all these all-you-can-eat buffets. Like, it's wild to me that people still go in the Golden Corral.
They are? Oh, my God.
No, the one in Duluth is packed every day. It'd be a Tuesday afternoon, and they just out there. Now maybe, because I haven't been inside in a while, maybe they're gonna change things up. Maybe, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, but it's, limited on what you can get or how it works. But before, I've seen people rip ass in the bathroom stall. Like, I'm talking about playing a whole tuba solo with their ass cheeks. Then decide, all right, I think I'm going to have me some chicken. And it's like, didn't wash their hands at all. Just pick up the same tongs that you get your chicken from. Fart man over here did it. And I'm just like, I don't understand, like, how as a society we have devolved to such a place. Like, how have we degraded ourselves into such just, I don't want to say necessarily the worst fate, but it's not good. It's not what you want to see. That's not where you want to be at. I mean, if you're asking me personally, I'm just saying I would like to see a little bit more, care taken around the food that I'm going to be putting into my body. But that's neither here nor is it there. But it is something that's food for thought. But anyways, the Strive beta, we were talking about that, and I'm going to be honest with you, like, being in the practice mode, I genuinely feel like this game could definitely go places. Now, definitely simplified. It's definitely a simplified Guilty Gear. But we have noticed a common theme about the people who are exuding with such excitement for this game. Now, that being said, I do feel like the last beta was better. It was also longer. Well, at least it felt longer, because I feel like this beta, like, it came, people got in, and like now it's like ending on Sunday morning. Because I remember, if I remember right, the last beta went into Monday.
I
could be wrong.
After the extension.
Yeah, after the extension. So hopefully we get a second extension. Might be doubtful, but we can hope out here. But I gotta just wonder where their head is at with the balancing, because they RKO'd Potemkin. They told that man, nah, you were doing too much. You was literally wilding. But then they just told Angie, be free, my child.
Oh,
be free, my child.
Angie Moto, yep.
My man has one of the best counter supers I've seen in a video game in a while, to be honest with you. That man's just like lying in the cut. My man just spin. I don't want to say use the meme, spin the win, but that man definitely be Beyblading past people, bro. He just be pirouetting into your face talking about you lost the neutral. And then you lost. It's GG's. That character is Black Air Force energy. Menace to society. You had a rough experience by playing Jazz Rap last night.
That's a different thing. See, Jazz Rap himself is a force to be reckoned with. He is a machine. I'll tell you that much right now. But putting a character who can rush you down really hard, and then has moves like a spin that has a counter like incorporated into it. It's basically like GI moves in Soul Calibur. It has that kind of property to it, and giving him something like that, and then giving him like mix up potential off of that, and another spin move that he has, like just. Oh geez! Like by the time you figure out what the gameplay loop is here, it's already over. The set is gone. It's like I've lost twice now. It's like shit. It's like I blocked that time and he threw me. Like I didn't even think he could do it that time. All right, well.
No, it was just scoops and the GGs, man. Dead to rights. Just go ahead and pack it up, my guy. But I gotta say, the connectivity issues in this beta seem to be worse than they've ever been. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's surprising to see. Like, if anything is supposed to be improved in a beta, from a beta to beta basis, typically stability is near the top of that list. Because let's face it, folks, if the game is coming out in like 2 months, they're not changing too much of the gameplay. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is more for testing stability, testing if the game functions from just, a base set of rules. Like, does it follow all protocols? Does it do what we set out to do? Does it fulfill the mission? Is it fun? Just, get a small little, just to sweat the whistle with a little bit of a taste of things to come. And you've already seen various people saying this lobby system is atrocious. This lobby system is somehow worse than it was the first iteration that it came around in the last couple days. Like, these are actual problems that they need to address. Now, don't get me wrong. They try to simplify it by making sure that people's positioning in the lobbies are more consistent, more frequently updated, giving you the option to rematch as opposed to going back to the menu every time. Some quality of life functions that should have been there in the first place. But once again, it's a beta. I'm not going to hold you on that. But ArcSys has been around a long time. And I feel as though a lot of fighting game companies seem to still act like we still have the basic understanding of video games, like the populace, general pop, as we like to say, have the general understanding of the video game industry as gamers in 1999. Back when, if you were a developer, you knew the ins and outs. You knew what was supposed to be expected of a game. And if you were just somebody who was, just into gaming, but not part of the industry, you had no idea. You had no manifestation of a thought process on what should be some basic things in every game. That's why a lot of them games used to hold you back in the day by not having, proper things to make a game. and they could still sell it for $50. And then you find out the game is literally nothing but a title screen, a few button presses, some beeps. And then you're like, this game's fucking impossible. It doesn't even work. Don't matter. We ain't patching it. Game's impossible to beat. Suck my nuts.
Hey, remember that one very popular game called Street Fighter V when that launched? I mean, that people were like, "Wait, there's no arcade mode, but that's in all your games." It's cool, guys. You just want to play online, right? I mean, you just want to play the game online, right? Wait, so we've discovered that there are 8 frames of input lag here, and it's like, wait, what? You guys don't care about all that technical nerd stuff. Like, you don't need to know about math right now. Come on now, like just play the game. Play it online. Oh, and play survivor mode to get those colors for your costumes and your characters and stuff. Oh, also, you want some extra costumes, premium costumes, buddy? Hey, pay some money. Give us some money, please,
bro. They got the hands out like the Gross sisters from the Proud Family, bro. Talking about some pay what you owe, fam. Pay what you owe, and I'm like, but there's nothing here. Like, look, let's be honest. Street Fighter V has come a resounding long way from where it started. And if you're into Street Fighter V, Godspeed. You have finally gotten a game that I think it is deserving of some praise. There have been some noteworthy accomplishments on your come up. But as somebody who played Season 1 and Season 2, and then I saw Season 3 did not look like it was bringing too many changes to the table that was actually going to make that game worth a shit. And then Season 4 was apparently people still complaining about the shit that was in Season 1 and 2. I have no inkling in my body to get back to the Street Fighter ways. At least not 5. Maybe if 6 comes out, it tests the waters a little bit and it gets the good old thumbs up from everybody in the gang, then all right, I might slide back over. But, until that time, yeah, 5 is big RIP to me. I have recently played the most recent season, tampered around with the V-shift stuff, and let's be honest, it's still Street Fighter V. Like, let's keep it a whole bean. While there are, it's just a more optimal and seemingly stable Street Fighter V. A lot of the online matches I have didn't have the weird type of lag that I'd be having back in Season 1 and Season 2. I don't know if they made any modifications to the netcode. Now, it's still not as clean as the fan-made netcode that came out, 2 years ago now? Oh. It's still not as clean as that, but it's much better. So I can say, I could tip my hat a little bit to Capcom on improving the game, especially from the almost draconian fucking state that it released in. But at the same time, it was so far in the trash bin that it made a bunch of improvements to just be kind of okay. Because I think this is going on year, 5.5?
Yeah. But the extra years because they're having some developmental issues with Street Fighter 6 allegedly. But we bring this up because Guilty Gear Strive seems like it may end up in a similar boat where base game is gonna be, it's gonna offer you that great netcode. It's gonna offer you, great characters with, some flaws here and there, but interesting gameplay with like a robust system here. But as far as the overall game, it's going to need some improvements that may take a while for them to address, which hopefully it doesn't go the Street Fighter route where it's like, here's a new version. Like hopefully it's not here's Strive 1, here's Strive 2, here's Strive redone, it's some nonsense like that, right? But as far as the Strive beta goes, my experience with the lobby is literally hey, I finally connected to the game. Now I'm going to online mode. Let me wait a few minutes for it to connect to the lobby. All right, now I'm in the lobby. Cool. Let me get in standby here. All right, I'm standing. I'm waiting. Failed to connect to a match. Huh? Okay. Well, there's another person here. Failed to connect to that match. Okay. All right. Well, this match is starting. Let's go. Let's do it. Depending on whether or not this person is on Wi-Fi, we're going to have a very great experience, or it's going to be like, how did he get up there? But overall, the game is pretty good. The game is pretty good. I personally want to wait and see like what additional changes they're gonna like make to it post release. So I haven't like pre-ordered the game or anything because they could change some things in between now and the release of the game. But also there like some issues that do need to be addressed with like the way the lobby is working because there's some like weird bugs with the lobby and like some just weird interactions of like disconnecting in between matches, getting kicked out of the lobby in random moments. I literally had to question whether or not my internet was like worthy of playing this game because I got kicked out so many times during like so many like just playing the game for like an hour and all of a sudden I'm at the freaking main menu. Like how did I get disconnected?
No, there were plenty of streamers that were going through that. I haven't gone through it yet, but for some people, they just had the luck of the draw. And let me tell you something. At least this is what happened in the last beta. If you get kicked out to the menu, there are sometimes you're like, no biggie, let me get back to the game. And the Strive beta basically just goes, who are you? I've never seen this man a day before in my life. You don't play this game. Which
so that I haven't experienced that in this beta so far. Like I haven't experienced any problem where it's just like, hey, who are you? Yeah, tell us your ID. GG player, is that who you want to be? It's like, wait, what? But so there's that. There's that whole network experience, but there are also changes that were made to certain characters, and some of these changes are like very very confusing. Like Nagoriyuki has a change to his blood system where was it if you did supers it would stop his blood gauge from going up, which you don't necessarily want to happen because his health goes down like significantly while he's in that mode. And so it's like risk reward sort of thing. Like he does a lot more damage. His normals have better like frame data behind them and shit like that. But he's losing a shit ton of health. So you want to avoid getting up that gauge until you're in a certain like advantageous state. And they've made it so that the gauge just goes up no matter what. Like the only way to stop the gauge from going up is to like command grab somebody. And if you don't do that, then supers actually add to the gauge. So you could like hit someone with a combo and do a super, and then all of a sudden the gauge is popping off. So like you could be in a situation where you're doing a B&B, and one of the universal changes is now that if you use the same move in a combo, you can't really like hit the same move twice, which was a nerf to RAM as well. But like if you do this, like if you do his normal like B&B combo, by the end of it, your blood gauge is full. And so now you've done this combo, but now you're in a situation where this explosion is happening. If your opponent is like, I don't know, a little bit further away from the explosion, then they get to stand, watch the explosion go off, and then just punish you with like a free combo because the burst is punishable if it doesn't hit anybody. So you didn't want this mechanic to just like go off all of a sudden, but it's like,
you don't have any control over it.
Yeah, I also want to do my damage in my combos because this character like hits really, really hard, even though he's very slow. He has long range normals and he hits really hard. That's his thing. And then they're like, yeah, but when you do the combo, you're gonna get punished for it.
Now it's like, your turn to die, and it's like, wait, getting punished for hitting somebody? Are we playing MK11? Dun, dun, dun.
So then it becomes a situation of like, do I want to hit him with this full combo, or do I want to like do a reset so that I can maybe get a command grab off or something so that I don't have this gauge?
Here's the weird thing. I've seen 2 videos of a Nago hitting a combo, looking sick, thinking everything is okay, and then the character just meteor falls out of the cutscene super, and I'm like, huh? How does that work?
Yeah.
You can't have a cinematic super and then tell me characters are falling out of it, man. You can't do that. Especially in the corner. There's a wall there. You have a literal support system.
Literally seen his cinematic super where he like takes you to the heavens with the sword slices.
Yeah.
So that breaks walls. But I've literally seen it so that if you're like a little bit away from the wall, it doesn't break the wall at all, and they just kind of like fall there. And that's confusing because I've also seen certain moves that like you're not at the wall, but you got hit by this move, and all of a sudden, wall broke. Like, and I don't know if that's a bug or if that's like intended because of like the trajectory of like your opponent's body after they get hit by this move or whatever.
Or
But
if it's down to move strength, because you think a super would be on the upper echelon of move strength,
right.
not just I hit you with crouching P, wall break.
By the way, 2P, the universal anti-air button has been buffed so that people can have a more universal anti-air button. It's got more what is it, upper body invincibility on it. So you can use it to pretty much anti-air anything if you like time it correctly. The startup does it does have a startup that can get hit, so you can't just like see someone coming at you and then just press it immediately as the move is about to like touch your body or anything like that. But you can use it to get out of a lot of tricky situations, which is probably also why a lot of people have been hitting jab on like wake up and stuff, where they're just like, I don't know what to do. Jab, 2P, please. So I don't know, but yeah, back to
Anti-air
changes.
save me.
Anti-air safety, pretty much. What is it? Potemkin got nerfed. His 2P actually, like, he used to get a combo off of it, because that's the that's praise the booty. That's that move. So he doesn't get a combo off of it anymore, which I mean, that's fine, I guess. Potemkin still does like damage pop buster and shit like that, but it's weird. What other changes are there? Oh, so you remember how
I could have swore is it Hammerfall that only his big arm only has one hit of armor now?
That Hammerfall,
yeah,
is also it's punishable now. Like so forward Hammerfall was punishable, but it was like it wasn't. You had to like know the actual like frame data to know how to punish it and whatnot. Now it's a lot more easy. Like if you do Hammerfall in someone's face, that's a wrap. You're getting a hard punish there. Hammerfall
dying,
backwards. Bro. Hammerfall backwards is +1. That is now punishable as well. So there was a way where you could I think you could like Kara backwards Hammerfall so that he moved forward so you can get plus frames and stuff. And yeah, it's not good tech anymore because it's punishable either way you go. So yeah, that's a nerf. I think those are the only nerfs that popped
no. You're talking about Mega Fist.
Oh, Mega Fist, yeah, not Hammerfall.
Yeah, Hammerfall has one hit armor now.
That's silly. But
well, in the last beta, my man was like, it don't matter if God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, and everybody you've ever seen on Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out is standing there. I'm going through all of them. It was over.
I accepted that because that's his mobility move. Like that's his way of getting in because he doesn't have a dash. He doesn't have an air dash. Yeah, he doesn't have an air dash. So like
no, I mean I get that, but one hit of armor just seems weird.
Yeah. But like one hit is more traditional with how other grapplers who have like an armor move.
Now don't get me wrong, I agree, but this game is far from traditional in many ways.
Exactly. This game is Gorilla Central, all right? Like if you're not out here busting out, if you're not out here creating the chaos and the scrambles, then
you're a victim.
Yeah, you're getting beat up. So
did you want to be a victim? I didn't think so.
So you know how Soul Bad Guys like his cinematic super where he goes Dragon and Soul and like lunges at you. You know how you could block that before? It was like it looks like he's gonna grab you, but it's not a command grab. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they fixed that. It's a command grab now. So GG's. You can't block it.
Good to know. All right, can you at least react to the cutscene?
I mean, yeah, you can react. You can hold up and like jump out of it, but yeah, it's a true command grab now.
That's gonna look really great on somebody's montages. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Of course.
And speaking of montages, pulling away from Guilty Gear Strive, which I don't know, I still feel like it's it's a mixed bag. There's a lot of good. There is a seeping amount of bad. But, you know, overall, I'm still interested in the product. But man, there's just some things they got to fix. There's just some things they got to look at. But with the game coming out, what, in July?
Two things I want to mention since you're on like the things that they need to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Frame data in training mode. Like training mode has everything else. It doesn't have frame data.
Oh, I was wrong.
Weird.
I was wrong. Wrong. It's not July. It's not July, everybody. It's not July.
June? Oh yeah, it's coming out late June, isn't it?
Late. June 11th. They come out in
June
4
11th.
weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Less than a month.
Yeah.
Less than a month. And to be fair, the game was supposed to come out April 9th. It's already supposed to be here.
This is going to be the final version, so yeah.
It is what it is, baby.
Was it frame data and training mode? Oh my god. And it would have been good for new players if there was at least like 2 or 3 trials or missions available.
Now here's the thing. I get it's a beta, so I'm not gonna hold up on that. It better be there in official release. Mainly because we've seen Guilty Gear and Xrd have an S tier Omega Mondo smorgasbord of knowledge tutorial. We've seen it.
Well, they do have a mission mode that shows up in the beta. Like you can see the mission mode. It just says like, you know, it's in development. So and so. So yeah.
I just want it to be as elite as it was in Xrd towards the end of Revelator.
Considering they're like I know people who are like complete newcomers who like wanted to like try this game out because it looks cool and you know this is like simpler and like made for them. It would have been a good promotion tool to have something for them besides like the tutorial that's like this is the system of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's like, hey, you want to play Kai? Here's some like basics about, you know, Kai Kisuke.
They hit you with watch the YouTube videos.
And get in the command list to like see the properties of the moves, which the command list is really dope. It's got like actual videos of the moves and it tells you about all the properties of the moves and like, you know, their use cases and everything. Like it tells you what you need to know, but you know, people want to know how to do combos. And considering this game is not like, you know, the long combo like heavy or anything like that, and you only really need like 1 or 2 B&Bs and then like, you know, conversions off of certain situations and like, you know, Roman cancel combos, like red Roman cancel combos. Yeah, like it wouldn't have been difficult to give like 1 or 2, like, you know, like a brief, like just like the command list, just give like a video of like this is the combo that you should be doing or something like that, you know. But
like I said, it's a beta, so I'm not gonna sweat it too much, but it would have been nice to see it. But the other weird thing is, why does it feel like traditional Guilty Gear players are just kind of like, it's all right, I guess. But the people who are like the crack fiends or people who are never Guilty Gear players, most of which not even anime fighting game players, are the ones who are Birdman handing in the background talking about some, yeah, I'm gonna get up in this one. I'm gonna get in this game's guts. I don't know. It's just a weird thing I've noticed. You brought it up as well. You noticed it.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's like this is the Guilty Gear game that's made for the people who are not Guilty Gear players, so that like, you know, they don't have to think about all of the different systems from old games like Dead Angle and, you know, shit like that.
Because I love Xrd Sign. I love Rev 2. I'll be 100% honest with y'all. I was hot doo-doo butter dog trasho. Like, don't get me wrong. The like 1 to maybe 2 games tops of ranked that I was able to play. Because you don't play ranked. Apparently the Guilty Gear community, you don't do that. You either have to go into a Discord server, have a network or a nucleus of friends, or you have to go into player match at like very oddly specific times at night to catch anybody. Once you got around Rev 2. Sign, you could find matches. That was fine. There was no issue there with matchmaking. May take a little bit of a while, depending on what time of day you get on. But normally, like when you get off of work, it was perfectly fine. Around 8 p.m. to about 1 a.m. in the morning, you could find games somewhat reliably. You might be playing some of the same people a bunch of times, but you can still find the games. Once when you got around Rev 2, if you weren't like hooked up with somebody, you weren't booed up with someone to find games, probably wasn't gonna happen online. Tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate, but ultimately, playing Guilty Gear is fun when you're playing with the homies. That's great. That's fine. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when you play someone who's actually like genuinely good at the game, bro, I'm telling you, I was getting smoked. Had a good time, but I was getting smoked. We were smoking on that Bedman quiz pack tonight. That is one game where I will admit, if you want to wash me, say, yo, why don't you pick up Exit real quick? And I don't mean I don't know anything about the game. I can play the game. But that upper echelon, like there's a miscommunication on what they got going on up there and what I'm doing down here in my lowly Bedman chambers.
And that's how I feel about Accent Core. But at the same time, like, luckily, since Accent Core, since Plus Hour is so old, there's like all the resources you could possibly want to and need to be good at the game is out there. It's just a matter of like applying all of your like time to being good at the game. So I feel like Shrive will be in that same place. It's just that it'll take years before it gets there, and that's if Shrive doesn't have changes. Also, you got to talk about like the DLC for the game that's more than likely going to come, maybe with a different version. Like I know Exerd did when they made Revelator. That's when they added like Dizzy and like other characters. But they did that really cool thing where they're like, hey, if you own the game. And this character, like we announced this character, like the first couple of weeks, this character's free. But if you like buy the game later, or like if you don't pay attention to this announcement, then you're gonna have to pay some money.
Hey man, at least they're giving you an option to get some freemium.
Right.
Most games will not do that, but ultimately, what do you guys think about Strive? You let us know in the comment section below. That was the Strive half-hour report. Now, the next game on the docket is Resident Evil 8, and I don't want to get into too many spoilers because I know it hasn't even been 2 whole weeks, but I'm gonna say this, all right? The game is fine, but it seems like they tried to spill their Resident Evil 4 into your Resident Evil 7, and there were some parts that worked, and there's some parts where you just go, are you sure about that one? And don't get me wrong, I know some people are like harping on the game's writing. Resident Evil, in no incarnation, has ever been winning any awards for its script. All right, like that's just, I feel like that's a nonsensical talking point to people talk about. Like the plot doesn't make sense because whether you want to watch the 3D movies, the live action movies, the games.
Two of those are actually coming out soon. There's going to be a live action movie, and there's a 3D movie that's coming out very soon on Netflix. So,
and when it comes to a lot of people's like super fetish waifu vampire of the year, Lady Dimitrescu, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be very disappointed when you play the game. I'll tell you that right now. She is not everything y'all thought it was, at all. Like y'all talk about, ooh, step on me, mommy. Nah, it's not. It's not that deep, man.
Don't you dare lie to these people, all right?
They
gave you the cutscenes that you wanted, all right?
I'm trying to set these people free so they no longer have to live within that fragile, weak, and depressed state of mind that they'll be living in when they play through the game themselves. I want to ease the tension. I want to soften the blow of that disappointment. Now, that being said, gameplay wise, if you like 7 at all, this is just a better, more, I'll say more optimal version of 7. Like it's like 7 was kind of like we're trying some things. 8 seems to polish it out as far as combat goes. I will say it's much better. It's much better than 7. Like 7 was pretty much tame, slow, just keep it pushing. This one does have some high octane gunfights that you're actually going to be very entertained by. It feels fulfilling. And yes, I'm even going to say it. Some of the kills in a Resident Evil game, well, I should say a modern era Resident Evil game that isn't part of a remake or anything like that. So we're talking 6, 7, and 8 here. The kills are satisfying? I know. Shocking. Sometimes it feels great to just be in the power seat, talk about some, yeah, run up on me if you want to. That's in stark contrast to the player character, the protagonist, Ethan. But once again, we'll get into that. And if you want to be on the fence about it, and you were interested in playing 7 and you played it, but you're on the fence about 8, they do answer the question on why Ethan is able to take all this damage and feel no pain and just pour some Alka-Seltzer on himself and be back at full strength. They do answer this question. It's in the ending. I won't spoil it, but they do answer the question. Have you played Resident Evil 8 at all? If you have, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's mostly on the whole Alka-Seltzer thing. Like, Ethan takes damage. Like, when I say he takes damage, he takes damage, and then he's like, oh my god, that's crazy. And then he just opens a bottle and oh, all right. Well, I'm feeling a lot better, and it's really weird. It's very jarring, but yeah, the story does actually explain that. To all the people who are just there for their, horny situations of like, oh, Lady D, oh, please, and your daughter, please tell me more. Like,
you'll be playing the game for 4 to 5 hours tops.
Yeah, but they feed into that. They do. Okay, so they do have like a bunch of cutscenes, like scripted events that are literally like, hey, yeah, this is all about you horny people who just wanted to see her step on you and whatnot. There are scenes where she literally chokes Ethan and she's just like, man thing, and looks her in the face and everything, and it's like, yeah. This game is first person for a reason.
Hey man, she showed Ethan the power of the Guac 9000 just a little bit, just a little bit of a taste. But like I said, if we talk any further, we're just gonna go into spoilers at this point. But I will say,
it's a decent game, and they went more of the action route for this game, which is interesting. But it also felt like if they were gonna go the action route, why not go all in? But that's me and my preference. But yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The last time they went all in, you got Resident Evil 6. You don't want that again. You don't.
Oh, not that way. No, not that way. I mean, hey, the first time they went all in, we got Devil May Cry 1. All right, so so just go in like that. Not whatever the heck ideas gave you Resident Evil 6.
Also, the story of this game just makes me mad at Chris. Don't get me wrong, Chris has had his moments of ineptitude, but this is Chris fully Ultra Instinct ineptitude. But once again, play the game for yourself. I don't want to get into the spoilers, but boy, you want to throw a brick at this man.
I will say this. Communication is very important. So there are tons of situations in this and many other video games where a character does something and you're just like, but if you just told him what your motive was the whole time, they probably would have been like, oh, okay, all right, go ahead. It's the Last Jedi situation with I don't remember
with Holdo.
Yeah. And it was just like, yeah, you see, I didn't want to tell you my plan because then you would try to stop me. And it was like, wait, no, but he did when you didn't tell him. What are you saying? He more likely would have been like, oh, that's what you're gonna do? All right, cool. Yeah, also awesome. Rebellion.
But no, yeah, Chris's ineptitude it is definitely striking in this game. It's like, I don't know about that one, Chief. But for those of you who are going to be watching this on Twitch, just know there's a point in that story where I said the exact same thing on why Ethan is able to do the things he does. And y'all said, nah, man, that's cap. That sounds silly. That'd be dumb. I'm just saying, some of y'all owe me drinks. YouTube comment section. We haven't talked about Resident Evil on the YouTube channel, so I'm gonna let y'all slide. But for real though, nah. Y'all know who you are. But I digress.
Right.
Speaking of people owing people apologies, so that gas shortage that lasted about 48 hours, what are those people doing with the bags of gas now? They gotta be looking kind of dumb.
Um, so I did hear a story that unfortunately there was someone who was hoarding gas and they got into a car crash. So you know where that's going.
Did the car
It's straight out
explode?
of yep, straight out of a Michael Bay movie right there. Some people lost their life because they're out here playing some ridiculous games. If you don't know what we're talking about, so I, I'll have to look up the name of this company. But there's a company that got hacked, and because of the hack, there was a predicted shortage on gas, and so the news stories were pretty much pitching it as there is going to be a shortage of gas. Prepare yourselves, and you can't you can't tell the general public something like this without expecting some dumb shit to happen. All right, like, do you remember when the last time some sort of like like catastrophic situation was predicted, and everyone went to the local Kroger and they just bought all the bread? Like
Right?
there's
Remember when we
there's
bought all the
no
toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic?
oh my god, it was just like that. It was just like that where everyone's just going to the local Walmart and they're just buying all the toilet paper. I'm gonna be inside for 2 years. I need toilet paper. What if I run out? And it's like it's not gonna be like that, but okay, sure. And and then everyone bought all the canned food. Everyone bought all the boxed food, all of that, right? People were hiding in their bomb shelters and shit. It's ridiculous, right? So we had a situation where people were told that there was going to be a gas shortage, and so because they were told that there was going to be a shortage on gas, everyone went to go buy gas immediately. And then some people decided that they were going to, take whatever the hell they had and like put gas in it. They took the gas canisters, the gallon like gas canisters, and like put in those. Some people went out of their way to put gas in bags, which I don't know why you would think putting gasoline in bags and then stuffing them in the back of your car is smart, but I don't know, man.
It's a whole. I mean, look. I mean, what was it like? What was it last? No, back in like March, early April. Like people started panic buying toilet paper again because of the Suez Canal blockage, and it's just like when you
What does that
say
even have to do with that?
exactly, they were like, "Oh no, my toilet paper has no other means of getting into the country. It's time to buy it all." And it's like, what are you doing? What the hell are you people doing right now? You make me sick. But even if you push all that to the side, like this,
Okay.
what?
Let me. So this was all started by
Colonial
ransomware.
Pipeline.
Yeah, Colonial Pipeline. In connecting Texas to New Jersey. Like that. That's why. And like. Look, if you told people like the pipeline got hacked, they would not go out and buy gas immediately because they're like, that's computer stuff. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get gas, right?
But you want to know what's really weird about the cyber attack, that ransomware? Do you know the organization that takes claim for it?
No.
They're called. Guess their name. I just want you to guess their name.
Ninja Attack?
No, you wish. You wish. Their name. No, go on.
The gas guzzlers?
Nah. No, it's much more worse than that. Zack Snyder tried to warn us about Dark Side. Yeah, the organization is known as Dark Side. And it's just like, man, edgy. But hey,
Dark
man,
Side, huh?
Yeah, when you could finesse the Colonial Pipeline for what was it, $5 million? Hey, man, call yourself whatever you want. You earned it.
Like,
but also begs
it's
the
such a dumb
question.
Idea, though.
But also begs the question, like, how secure are some of these multi-billion-dollar like companies really safe? Like, is your information really safe there? Because I don't know if you know this, Toshiba was also recently hacked this week by Darkseid. Toshiba subsidiary confirmed that they had a ransomware attack, and yes, all the reports point to Darkseid involvement. Yes, I just like to say Darkseid in that voice. I'm sorry. It's just a thing now. You'll get over it, or you'll get used to it. Maybe you like it. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, apparently that organization has been getting busy as it were, as of late. But apparently they didn't lose anything but a couple of days worth of work. But at the same
Okay.
time,
Like, yeah, that's us. They wouldn't tell us. Remember when Sony got hacked? Remember how when PSN went down and everything because Sony got hacked, and they were like, "No, guys, it's not that bad. Don't worry, your information is safe." And then like 2 days later, they're like, so we
your
lied.
information is safe.
Like if you had credit card information on your account or anything like that, yeah, you might have been compromised. So let us know, and we'll help you out." And so it was just like,
It's like, yeah, just help me out, just like that. Deadass. That's what we doing right now.
hey guys, you want 2 free games? Because PSN was down for so long. Oh man, we've lived through so much, man.
But it be like that when it be like that.
Yeah, so this dark side this dark side, I don't want to say corporation, this dark side like group that have decided that they're gonna just do like random ransomware attacks on like subsidiaries of bigger companies. Maybe they're trying to prove a point, because it does prove a bigger point to say like, hey, these companies all have these computer programs, and they don't really have the security to deal with like a legit attack, because they would basically have to hire us to do it. And some companies are smart enough to have done these things. Other companies are not. But
you would think companies would take precautions, but like I said, we have a homie who works for a tech company. I won't say which one, keep them all safe on the up and up. But all of their stuff was encrypted in plain text. Now you may be saying, encryption in plain text, what does that mean? That means it wasn't encrypted. That means if you got into their system and you wanted to see first name, last name, all the data was chronicled: first name, last name, birth date, place of work, position, phone number, email. Like, it was just open. It was basically an open document that anybody could have read. And I'm just like, how are y'all tech related to anything, but you're stuck back in 1984? Like, I don't understand. Only time I ever want to hear the number 1984 in results to tech is when we're talking about Wonder Woman 1984. It's the only time I want to hear that. And even then, do I really want to hear that? Because I didn't really like that movie, but that's a whole other discussion that we've already had on the Clout.WAV podcast.
Yeah, the only so it should be a situation where you hire people who understand the people in security who understand the types of attacks that could happen, like ransomware, and unless you have some sort of like Andrew Auenheimer like situation where you just have someone who's like, I just want to watch the world burn with my skills. Unless you have something like that happening, you should be prepared for this sort of thing, so that, I don't know, you don't have to tell people, well, you might not be able to buy gas because someone decided that they want to hold us ransom for like $500 million.
But like, it's one of those situations where it's like, you would think there would just be protocols in place for this thing. Like, you would just think that like at some point in the day, they would be like, you know what, maybe we just need to take it easy. Maybe what we need to do here is just sit back, relax, and get some security. Because
maybe we need to put more money into that, so that our shit is safe and the people are safe.
We make billions of dollars. At the very least, we can act like, we have things that people want. It shouldn't be shocking that someone might want to get into what you have when you make billions of dollars a year.
It makes me think of the Chappelle Show thing, the copy place, where it's like, oh, well, why do we not respect the customer? Cause fuck them. That's why.
But some of them is losing their own work. It's like, do you not respect yourself?
It's like, hey man, I'm still making money regardless. So what are you talking about? I'm safe.
Hey man, I wonder if those big industry jobs are ever going to turn into what McDonald's and a lot of these fast food restaurants are figuring out.
Ooh.
Gonna have to put that sticky note outside. Sorry, we cannot sell you your 2070 Super or your 3080 or your AMD. Nah, man.
Yeah, our employees took all of them, and they don't work for us anymore. So sorry.
Yep. They staged a walkout. They just gonna have a sticky note on the door.
God, like, Luckily, this was not a situation where we literally like ran out of gas and people would have had to figure out a way to do whatever without gas because gas stations were just like, yeah, we don't got it, man. We're not gonna have it for like 2 months. Because there was a similar situation that happened here in Georgia a couple of years ago, and I do remember that and having to wait like hours at one gas station to get gas because that's the only gas station for like I don't know, like 20 miles that has gas, you know? So
yeah, man, you got to go out your way to get that gas, fam. And it's weird because, like, you know, you don't really think about needing gas, but like, you'll be going there at least once a week. Some people, you know, once every 2 weeks. And if you got a gas guzzler, you going once every 4 or 5 days, depending on your type of commute. So it would suck. It's like, oh man, how am I gonna get to work? Well, you better Uber. What you mean the Uber folk ain't got gas? They need gas
that's
too.
one of the things that really came into my brain. Like I was like, okay, so how is like what's going on with like Uber and DoorDash and like, you know, people who are part of this like gig economy who are like, I don't have gas, I can't go anywhere now. Like, how am I gonna work? Like now people don't have jobs.
Listen, that could definitely, you know, put people out of work, but hey, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like get bent and get fucked. You don't really get much of a choice on that.
All because someone wanted to put some gasoline in a bag and like, I'm sorry, 20 bags and put them in their trunk. And they're like, there's nothing that could go wrong here. It's like,
and I do like the fact that people keep hamming it up. And there was one group of people who were sharing that fake image of the back of a car with a bunch of gas in it. And it's like, that wasn't even something that happened in our country. That was out somewhere in like, I believe it was China. And it wasn't even from this year. It was a gas shortage somewhere else in the world. And it's just like, come on, guys. I'm getting tired of every time there's even a slight crisis, somebody got to be out here spreading misinformation. And then somehow, seemingly without fail, the misinformation is the part that goes viral. Somehow. And then people just be believing it and then just parroting it because they saw my favorite streamer retweeted it, so it must be true. Without doing any like homework or due diligence of their own. But, you know, once again, I can't expect common sense to be common because it ain't common no more. I'm going to tell you that right now. The internet has ruined a plethora of people. So much so that we're getting a Venom sequel, which isn't surprising. They definitely, you know, announced that they were going to be doing it a while ago. And
there's a tease in the movie.
Yeah, there was a tease in the movie. And, you know, now that we're getting it, I've seen the trailer. And I don't want to use the word cute, but it looks like a cute little thing they're throwing together. Like, you know what I'm saying? It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't do anything that made me go, whoa, I got to see that. But it's also in the hands of Sony. And if anybody knows it, y'all know how I feel about when Sony makes anything movie related. Like, if Sony said today, the only thing that we are going to be sticking to, is video games, I'd be like jumping for joy. Because Sony's movies, they have ranged from a dumpster fire like the Monster Hunter movie. Don't forget, they did that. That was a thing that you have to blame them for. Just wanted to throw that in there.
There's the Monster Hunter movie. There's this Uncharted movie that's coming. Oh my god! Didn't they have something to do with Chaos Walking? Anyways,
I mean, don't get me wrong. They've been in other things that have been somewhat decent, like the first Grudge movie. Like, I'm not saying that everything that they've ever done was just the drizzling shits.
Yeah, but how long ago was that, man?
Exactly.
Like, it even got a reboot, and yeah, you probably all forgot about it because it was that bad.
They did the Jumanji reboot,
which was okay, but it's also like aimed at kids. So, you know, it's like things that are made like for kids usually have like humor that's gonna hit mostly with kids.
I think the thing I could say is probably the most solid thing that they've made in the past like decade was the Hotel Transylvania movie.
Yeah, honestly, I forget that they did that because that's an animated thing, and so
exactly. They also made MIB International.
Oh,
But look, we're not gonna go tit for tat with every bad movie and every stinker they've thrown out there. But like,
Right. The Venom movie, you know, coming before the Morbius movie that's going to feature Jared Leto. Venom. Okay, Woody Harrelson is going to be Carnage in this movie, and this movie is all about Carnage. I like the trailer. Okay, so I probably have to rewatch the trailer, but like the trailer made it kind of like ambiguous as to whether or not Carnage is going to be like the main villain or if Carnage is going to be a villain for half the movie and then Eddie's going to be like, "Look, you and I, we're the same. You and I are not so different, you know." And then you know, they team up to fight like a real big bad, which is going to be like a corporation that made another symbiote or some bullshit like that.
they made Super Symbiote.
Oh my god! But they also made it so that the symbiote, like the Venom symbiote, has like more agency in this movie, and like it's gonna have like its own like cute personality of like, you know, like, oh, do you want me to eat him, like, you know, that kind of thing, and
Nah,
that's cute.
you know what they better not do though, right?
What?
Carnage versus Venom versus Anti Venom.
Oh no,
That's
that
not
doesn't even make sense.
exactly. But you know, Sony likes throwing. There's like, because what was it? The first Venom movie teased what? Sinister Six.
uh, no, that was Amazing Spider-Man. That was
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, the first Venom movie blew their load when it came to the symbiotes by taking all the like more popular symbiotes in the like, you know, universe besides like Toxin and Anti Venom, and well, for real reasons. But like, yeah, they took all the like, you know, symbiotes that could be like villains and they just put them all in that one movie, and then they even had like nods to certain things that happened in the comic, like the girlfriend wearing the symbiote and shit like that, which is cool. It seemed like it was made to be like, this is gonna be, we're gonna have the one off and we're probably not gonna have anything more, but they got more and they're like, yeah, Carnage. So what they can do symbiote wise is have Carnage and then maybe introduce Flash Thompson or something, and then have like Anti Venom, or they can introduce Toxin, which is like literally, I think is like some dude got splashed with like the Venom symbiote, like pieces of the Venom symbiote and the Carnage symbiote, and they just kind of like turned into Toxin on this dude. So I don't know, they could do something like that. Comic wise, there's this whole big arc happening with like the king of the symbiote like planet coming through to Earth and like trying to like enslave people with symbiotes. So I don't know, maybe they could do some kind of like variation on something like that. Like there are ways that they can go about it, but it seems like they might just go with Carnage is the bad guy because Cassidy is crazy, and Cassidy is now obsessed with Venom because an experiment created the Carnage symbiote, and not the Venom symbiote literally like spawning after like taking some time and space. So I don't know, man. They could do anything at this point. And it could also lead into Morbius, which that's scary, but yeah.
Look, as long as Sony doesn't try to touch Null, okay? As long as we never get there. Which I don't think we will.
So.
I think you're at least 3-4 movies away from that.
Yeah. Null, I mean, like Null is still like a thing that's happening in the comics, if I believe. I don't remember if the Null like arc is over yet, but yeah, that would be like that would be something where they have to have a deal with Marvel to include Marvel characters, because if they try to do Null without Marvel characters in it besides like Venom, then that would be a disaster and boring. It's
You're
like
not lying about that.
it's like when the like DC TV shows tried to do Flashpoint with like only characters that are from their like TV shows, like the Flash and stuff, with like no Batman, you know, barely any Superman, you know, that kind of shit. So it's like not really a good idea to do something like big like that when they don't have the characters that they need.
Yeah, but you come on, man. You know how this goes.
Yeah. It'll come out. People will watch it. I might say it's good, and then we'll kind of forget about it, like we did the first movie.
Yeah, like to be honest, it's one of those things where when the trailer came out, I saw the hullabaloo on Twitter, and I was like, Venom? Why do people are talking about Venom? Like, man, the only movie I care about that's supposed to be coming out with a web slinger soon is Into the Spider-Verse 2. And that's supposed to be next year. Just in case anybody forgot.
By the way,
it's coming
where's
up.
the news on that?
Like TikTok next year, guys. But I'm like,
Also,
we haven't
what
even
can
gotten
they
a teaser.
What can they do? Because they blew their load on that too. Oh
Okay,
my God.
okay. So here's the thing, though. Because it's going to be a sequel. It doesn't have to follow Miles. There's a can of worms where it could be Gwen. It could be a Gwen movie.
That's fine.
It could be any other myriad of Spider-Men or women that have come through the pipeline. It could be a new Spider-Man, which would be weird.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, Sony is involved in this, so they could make their own Spider-Man character. It
could be about Scarlet Spider. I mean, that would be cool. The actual like Spider-Verse event in the comics like is all about Scarlet Spider and God, what was it? The clone of Scarlet Spider, and then that original like Peter who got the Carnage symbiote and all that other bullshit. So yeah, they could just go the route of the original Spider-Verse because it had a whole bunch of complicated bullshit that was in it. So yeah. But it did make the Japanese Spider-Man TV show canon, by the way.
Like I said, there's a whole myriad of Spider-Men that it could be.
Yeah. So hopefully they do something nice with that. Hopefully Venom 2 is fine. I mean, I remember when the trailer for the first Venom came out, people were getting like really pissed at how Jenny Slate was saying symbiote because she was saying symbiote. And I don't know if they did like reshoots or something, but like they changed that when the final movie came out. So I don't know.
Don't get me wrong; it's a weird way to pronounce it, but at the same time, I feel like people were just making a mountain out of a molehill. Like that's just some nonsensical stuff. Like,
of course,
I understand that the movie came out with Denzel Washington called The Little Things, but sometimes you got to stop sweating them, and that's something that is so minuscule. Like, have you seen the rest of that movie? There are plenty of things to complain about.
It's like, yeah, there's a billionaire who just has symbiotes from space, and he's just like, I'm going to use these to change the world by testing on people. I was like, wait, huh? Excuse me?
But there are plenty of things that you can get upset about. But, all in all, I'm sure it'll be harmless. It'll be a cute little film, whatever. It'll come out, and I guess people will see it. But I don't have any like real interest that is guiding me that says, please, Venom movie, come to me. I don't have that.
I'll see it when it comes out, and that's about it.
Either that or, whenever it hits HBO Max or whatever it inevitably hits, then I might catch it then. Because trust me, theaters ain't going to be the same for a while. And I just feel like it's not the time. Sometimes things are better off when they wait and get time to age. Which brings us to our next topic. He-Man is getting a continuation. I don't even know how I feel about this. Mark Hamill is coming back to be your boy Skeletor. And like, it's just... it's like one of those things where it's like, neat. Cool. But
I know that this is because She-Ra was successful. But She-Ra was successful mostly because of the team like behind it and how they wanted to make sure that this was like a show that was all about like representation and telling the story in a very interesting way that focused on like the emotions of all the characters who were involved in this world and like this war that was going on and telling it from a very interesting perspective. He-Man, I don't think He-Man's going to be all about that. Especially considering this is a continuation of the like original He-Man show. So like there's already lore built up and everything. And so it's going to be harder to make it similar to that if they're trying to do that. And I don't know.
I mean, it
I
looks
don't
good,
see. Yeah.
but the way they're releasing it is weird because they're making a 5-episode part 1 of the series, and apparently that
Ooh.
comes out in July. Like, it's right around the corner. Like, it's 2 months away.
Yeah, we're gonna need a trailer like very soon if that's the case. It's hard to really tell without like a trailer. I've seen the screenshots and it looks like it's gonna be pretty good. But I mean, what Castlevania season 4 just came out. Invincible season 1 just finished. Oh my god, the Boy season 2 came out not that long ago. Oh my god, there was some other superhero like property.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember it. It's on Netflix.
Oh, Jupiter's Legacy.
There
Jupiter's
you
Legacy
go.
came out,
There
and
you
Jupiter's
go.
Legacy. Okay, real quick, Jupiter's Legacy is why like people can get burnt out on all the superhero shit because Jupiter's Legacy is like very mid right now because the comic that is based on has all this interesting shit that's gonna happen later. Which Invincible has the same thing, but like Invincible has like early shit that's also very, very interesting. Jupiter's Legacy doesn't have that as much. So like the show
I
and
do
also the
respect.
way the show
I do respect Invincible for going out of their way to try to tell the story in a, well, I don't want to say the less interesting parts or the boring parts, but to tell that story in a way that the comics didn't do,
yes.
without perversing the lore or, you know, changing the power scaling, but just you know, giving it from a different perspective.
Right.
But go on, I digress.
So Jupiter's Legacy TV show has a lot of like fluff in between it, you know? Like the first episode is an hour and it felt like I was watching all 10 episodes in that one episode because of like how much like nothing happens in between like the initial introduction of like the main characters and then like the big like action sequence and then the twist at the very end that actually keeps you watching the show, which is it's like if the twist wasn't there, it would have been like, I'll, you know, whatever, I'll care about this later, sort of thing. But the costumes are really cool. The action isn't like as great as it could be, but you know, there's like stuff that's gonna happen later that's gonna be interesting for the show. So like, it's all mostly like build up. And when it comes to superhero shows, that's cool, but like you also want to tell like the like super cool parts of your like lore and your story up front to get people to be interested in it if it's, you know, something that's brand new. Like Jupiter's Legacy is not something that people are just casually familiar with because it's like, you know, it's from a comic series that's like diehard comic fans are the ones who are like really paying attention to it. Other people like casual like MCU fans are gonna see this, maybe watch the first episode and be like, that was boring. And that's kind of a problem that like I feel like the He-Man show could encounter if it doesn't do things right within like the first 2 episodes, you know? Unless they like Demon Slayer it or something where like
I mean,
it's
they
just like,
could.
oh, but is he gonna survive?
Because Castlevania season 4 is killing it right now.
I have my thoughts on that.
You have your thoughts on that?
I have my thoughts on it, but like I've been season 4 like in like 2 or 3 hours. So you know like it was good overall, but like I have like my thoughts on it. But I'm also not like this Castlevania like super nerd who's like knows like all the lore and stuff. So I like it more than most of the like Castlevania like hard fans that I've seen like comment about it. But Castlevania season 4, it's like all of this like build up to the last 2 episodes, which is where all of the like interesting stuff happens, like animation wise and story wise. Everything else is like there are a few like action scenes here and there that are kind of cool, but it's all like build up and like jokes, mostly jokes.
But yeah, what you were talking about earlier about superhero burnout, like people forget the Marvel shows is also still coming out.
Yep.
So you got to deal with that. Invincible announced 2 more seasons at the exact same time. They said 2 and 3 are coming. So
yep,
get ready for that. You got Jupiter out here wilding. everyone's still trying to forget the fact that they keep making more DC shows for the CW. It's not even called the CW anymore. Whatever it's called.
Yeah, it is called something else, isn't it?
Really?
So like,
Oh, I hope you can hear me shredding your
I
fiber
appreciate
right now.
the old gift sub there,
Let's go
Sub
into the
Twitch.
shredder.
Yeah, thanks for the gift sub. What is it? So I did watch a couple of the first episodes of the Superman show, Superman and Lois, and that show is very great, very very great. But it's like a thing that's by itself. Like, yes, Superman showed up in the overall universe beforehand, but this is like right now its own like controlled thing that's really really cool. Other DC shows are they're kind of lagging. Like, you know, Titan season 2 was you know, it was okay. Fucking what else is that? Doom Patrol. People are hyping up Doom Patrol, but I think Doom Patrol actually got canceled. Swamp Thing got canceled. God,
Is
what
Black
else?
Lightning still out there?
Black Lightning I think is on like season 4 or 5.
And what are they doing about Batwoman? Because they definitely change actors.
Okay. I saw something like a month or so ago that Ruby Rose is coming back to Batwoman, which is very confusing to me. But lore-wise, she could, because in the show, what they did was she was in a like the season finale before her departure. She was in a plane going somewhere, and then the season premiere of the next, like the following season, was her. Like the plane somehow like crashed or exploded in the sky, and like the trunk that had the Batwoman costume fell down in front of the woman who is now Batwoman in the show. So they could just do some bullshit of like Ruby Rose actually survived, and so you know, she's coming back to be Batwoman, and then that could be like conflict or I don't know, something. But if Ruby Rose actually is coming back to the show, then that's a mess.
Because I thought the whole thing was she was like dead set against the show. Like she was like, nah, I'm done with this.
Yeah, because she almost died.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, did someone just make the money right? Like, I'm just trying to figure these things out.
I don't know, man. But like, look, if I'm an actor and I'm like doing some kind of stunt and it almost killed me, nah, man, we're not doing this anymore.
Because on the last episode, we talked about that one girl who lost her arm and got her face melted off.
Yeah.
So like, nah, bro.
And then there's the thing with the director for the original Coming to America. He was in like a situation where there was some like action movie that he was directing. And they were doing this like very dangerous stunt, and like it caused this horrible accident where like kids were like killed in like a helicopter explosion and shit like that. And this dude tried to like deny responsibility for it and whatnot. And it's like, shit, man, if I even saw something like that, I would not want to be involved with that project or that person who helmed that project ever again. You know, like it's honestly just like, nah, you can't pay me enough money to be in a situation with you who doesn't care about my life.
All right, so Twilight co-director John Landis, that guy?
I think so. Yeah, John Landis.
Yeah, and 4 other men working on the film, including special effects coordinator and the helicopter pilot, were charged with involuntary manslaughter. Oh, it happened. Yep. It happened on the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
It happened on the Twilight Zone. That's when it happened. But apparently, this is the original Twilight Zone, guys. This is back in '82.
Yep, not that Jordan Peele stuff. Which that's getting another season.
You know what? Yeah, God bless him. Because boy, I was super hyped when that came out, and it was Omega mid.
Yeah,
and I mean on the lower tier of mid. Like it never got to a point to where it was like bad, but like I definitely walked away from it saying I didn't need to see any of this. I could have been reading a book right now.
It was the racism episode for me, man. Like I was like, this this cop is magic, and we're not explaining why he's magic. Like, can you tell me that? Like, are you trying to tell me that hate is magical?
No, I remember
Like, it
your rant.
transcends time?
I remember your rant about I'm getting tired of these magical racist subplots.
Like, it just didn't make sense because they didn't explain it. He just always knew, and then he was always racist. Like, he's like, "Ma'am, is that your car?" And it's like, "How are you there?" And then they just avoided him, and then he was just like, "No, I see you. I'm coming after you." And I'm like, "How do you even know? You didn't even speak to them."
There's nothing you had to set this up. And like, look, we get on the Twilight Zone another day because we still have a few more topics we want to talk about. We're going to take things to space. First, we're going to start off with a little light thing called Elon Musk.
Oh, boy.
Now, I don't know if you guys have seen the Saturday Night Live sketch, but apparently, a lot of people are up in arms about, the appropriation of African-American, verbiage. They don't like how our English has apparently been taken and absolutely brutalized, victimized, and castrated in front of a live studio audience for a gaggle of laughs. Now, me personally, when it comes to the AAVE, yes, there are certain words that are obviously black coded. There's something that's in our linguistics, some people call it ebonics, but AAVE sounds a lot better to the ear, apparently, I guess. But ultimately, when I see other people from other cultures and other walks of life doing it and speaking, using those words and adding that to their repertoire of, their speaking pattern, I don't see a problem with it because language is supposed to be shared. It's a communication tool. It's not something that you can privatize. It's not something that you can necessarily, like, anybody can go out there and learn Japanese and speak it. Whether you go to Japan or not, whether you just want to, in some cases, selfishly just learn it to watch anime without having subtitles. People do that. Some people will just out there in the open speak it amongst themselves. There's a dude who has an entire YouTube channel where he goes to various different Chinese restaurants or, whatever language that he speaks, because he speaks multiple languages, and he'll go there and he'll just go in there and order in the native language to practice, but it's also a YouTube video, and he'll see the reactions of the people who are of whatever nationality or descent that speaks that language natively, just have these shocked reactions when he does it. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. Context is king here because there are some times, and this is where we get to Elon Musk, where people use it to degrade a race. And we've seen when people try to fuck it up. And I don't mean from a comedy perspective. I mean what you gonna do, dog? Yeah, that's right. And try to make it seem like every single person who looks like me or Abdul here are slope forehead, really big, just giant Magilla gorillas, grape apes running around like we don't have any sort of IQ.
Right.
But yes, I will admit, when you're watching that Saturday Night Live sketch, it's white people being as cringy as possible.
Boy.
You felt like you needed to take a shower afterwards because, look, I'm not saying when white people say the words, it's automatically in the cringe zone. If you've built up a rapport with someone and they talk like that with the homie, it's fine. But there are some people, even on this platform known as Twitch, do not use any of this language with their family, their peers, nothing like that. But when it comes on the stream, or like we've seen it, my biggest problem, when brands be talking about, that's sus. This thing bussin'. Man, it's lit in here. Brands, corporations, you do that to sell merchandise. But if someone came up to you and talked like that in an interview, you wouldn't hire them.
Mm-hmm.
You
would
saw
be
someone
unprofessional.
talking. Yep, you saw someone talking like that to a customer. Even if the customer was talking back and wasn't offended, you would be having you would just start making up shit in your head. Just come to some far gone conclusions that were probably both ill and preconceived, without even getting to know the person, about that person, just because of the way they speak. Some companies and corporations have fired people for things of this nature. And on Twitter and their social media game, they're using all those words. So yeah, there's definitely some sensitivity there. But some people are just going after, white people or anybody who's not black just for using the words. I'll give you a perfect example. A couple of weeks ago, there was a lady who made a tweet that was like, I'm on this bus and it's bussin'. You know, stupid ass pun. Dumb pun. One of those Carlos, you know, from the Magic School Bus. One of those eye rollers, right? And a bunch of people just jumped all over him for using the word bussin' and made him delete the tweet. And then people are coming in there. I'm glad that you can see the error of your ways and you delete the tweet. This is one of the very first steps to take in order to repair our country. And I'm like, you call this a step? You call this a step in the right direction? This is what is important. This is what's going to stop people like me from getting shot in the street.
No.
Bussin'? All right. Like it
Okay, so since we're on the topic of
bamboozles me.
SNL, I will say that Michael Shea from SNL has a new show on HBO called That Damn Michael Shea, which is like a sketch comedy show. And the first episode is all about these kind of situations. And like one of the ones that made a whole lot of sense and was pretty funny is that he gets on an elevator in like, you know, his apartment complex, and, you know, this white woman is there. It's just him and the white woman. He gets on the elevator and he sees that she's got like a Black Lives Matter like pin on her bag. And and you know, he doesn't say anything to her, and she just goes, I just wanted to say that I apologize for you know, for what you've been through in society. And he's like, okay, like it's not like it's your fault or anything like that. He's like, I just wanted you to know that I have a nephew and he's actually half black. And it's like, okay, all right, lady, like relax.
Hold on. Smells like white guilt to me.
It's like, you don't have to do all that. Advice to all the people who think that this is like, you know, helpful or nice or whatever. You don't have to do all that.
All you doing is making it awkward. Just treat me like you would treat anybody else on the planet Earth and we good.
Exactly.
Stop overcomplicating issues, all right?
Like, you don't need to come up to anyone of any sort of minority group and then like say, hey, don't worry, I'm on your side. It's just like, they will assume that you're on their side
until we see otherwise.
Yeah.
Now,
as long as you're not being disrespectful.
Now, that being said, though, y'all got to work on calling out your boys and your girls when they be saying some shit that's like uber out of pocket. You know, just go ahead and touch them up a little bit. Be like, hey, nah, we don't do that here, bud.
Some people don't know. Some people like legitimately don't know if like they're seeing a person saying something that's rude because they don't understand it, which is cool. Inform yourself on that. And like, if you're in a situation where someone's like being like disrespectful or rude or whatever like that, say something. But you don't have to go out of your way to be like, yo, this guy's saying the N-word on the internet. And it's like, you see, you're offending all black people by doing that. And it's just like, all right, calm down.
Well, some people be jumping on people. They don't even know like what ethnicity they're like. You said the N-word, and then the person's like, "I'm black." Get away from me, anime avatar. Yeah, having an anime avatar is a dangerous weapon out here in these streets. That's what I found out.
It sure is. Like, you just don't need to you don't need to walk up to people and like do shit like that, and you don't need to go out of your way to try to like ridicule people who might have been making a mistake. Like, if it seems like it's a mistake, treat it that way first and be like, oh, hey, you know, you said this and that you know, that's kind of messed up. You know that some people might be like offended by that. Like, some people might assume that you feel a certain way about a certain group of people, and maybe you should like check yourself on that instead of being like, hey, black people, how dare you? Like
Now, because some people they don't have any tactfulness at all.
Right. There was also a part in the sketch where the woman was like, she was like, "How are you not so angry about all these atrocities that are happening in society against Black people?" And he's like, "Look, lady, you've known about this for like a couple of months. Me, like Black people as a whole, we've like been dealing with this for literal years, so we're just kind of used to it by now." And she was like, "Huh, I never saw it that way." And I'm like, I'm sad. I'm sad that this is probably a real conversation.
You know, because it's sketch comedy, I can assume that it's probably a work, but I could see it being legit. Like not in this situation on the TV, but I can see there's probably people who have lived that conversation. But hey, what else can I say about that? Elon Musk has opened many boxes, and this is a small case of him just being featured on a show, and because he's Elon Musk, people want to give it a bunch of notoriety, because this is not the first time that white people have been talking like that on TV. You could look at most dating shows. You could probably look at what's that show, Shaw's of Sunset?
What? Sons of Anarchy?
No. There's a show, because my mom used to watch it before she passed. She used to watch this show where it was people who were, I want to say their last name was literally Shaw, but I believe it was Indian. There was some Middle Eastern. I'm not gonna try to put labels on everything. But their family was from the Middle East. They're rich as hell, but they're always saying stuff like, "We about to get lit. We about to turn up." Hey, bah, bah, bah. But then ever see no Black people on the show, ever.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but yeah, I'm not.
And I think the main dude is gay, and he got a big ass mustache, bro.
Yeah, you lost me with that one. It might be called Charles of Sunset. I'm not sure.
I just googled it. Yes, yeah, I found it.
Okay, because that sounds wild, honestly.
And it's just another drama series, but like, it was a thing that exists. But yeah,
it's a Bravo show. Okay, yeah, okay. I got you. Yeah. Oh, too much, man.
TV programming, I feel like, has fallen off over the past 10 years, and I feel like every decade it's just gonna get worse.
Let's not forget that Elon Musk has ruined Dogecoin for everyone. as they would like to tell you. But Elon Musk showing up on SNL was supposed to be like a big like hype up for Dogecoin, because Elon Musk is basically like, I'm about to pop off on Dogecoin when I show up on SNL. So people are like, oh shit, Dogecoin is gonna go up like hundreds, thousands. It'll at least get up to $1, all this crazy shit, right? And he got on there and he said Dogecoin is a hustle. And boy, you are not supposed to tell people that cryptocurrency is a hustle. It doesn't matter that it is. You're not supposed to actually say it's a hustle, because then casual people who don't know anything about cryptocurrency, investing, anything like that, are going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to take that risk. Like, I might lose money, And so because he said that, Dogecoin actually went down, even though at the time it was actually on the up and up. It was about like 75 cents going up to like 80 at the time, and it went down to like 40 cents. So of course it's probably gonna like come back up, and now's a good time to like buy it if it's slated to go back up. But Elon Musk was supposed to give it the stimulus package, and he didn't. Like, he bombed it. So that was another result of SNL. And then there was that Mario sketch, which...
But you want to know what's funny?
What?
Did you know that Elon Musk's Tesla company decided to drop Bitcoin?
Yep.
Like, my man trying to hustle right now, because he really wants that stuff to go up so he can get an easy payday from the money he's put into it. And it's like, look, by all means, make your money. We already know you're going to do that anyway. I mean, you're just shooting cars into space, like, almost without permission. But hey, you do you, partner. But
The
like,
funny thing is that he did that and Bitcoin also went down. So
exactly. But like, when you sit up here and you say that, oh yeah, it's just a hustle. It's just like, I get that you're supposed to be like what you're attempting to be is the awkward, socially, and like just, but you're still endearing type of character. But like, you're not. Like, you think that you're Peter Parker with money? You're not. You are just weirdo number 5.
right.
And it's okay to be weirdo number 5. Weirdo number 5 is rich. That's perfect place to be.
Exactly. Like you're in a good spot, but like
Don't
you
mess it
can't
up
act
for
like
everybody.
everybody else is there. Yeah. I mean, what is it? Bitcoin was at like $600, $700 at the time, and now it's down to like 500, which that's still pretty high. But like, this man was like, yeah, nah, guys, Bitcoin is not accepted by Tesla anymore. And so, of course, people are like, well, then why would I have it? Like, if I can't use it to buy things, then what am I buying it for?
Because I still think that like this whole thing comes down to the fact that most cryptocurrencies, but we're going to talk especially Dogecoin, most of it is just a meme and a fad. Most people who are like mining for certain Bitcoin, they're just mining for the sake of mining because it's just background work. It's just a thing they got going on, and they can just hope they can make money off of it. Even though a lot of people have talked about that that's bad for the planet and the emissions that are going to be coming from it. So that's a whole other conversation for another day. But the
But
fact,
Dogecoin was actually made as an actual like meme to the fact that Bitcoin was becoming popular during that time when it actually surged and people were becoming millionaires off of it. So, that's when cryptocurrency was all over the place. Everybody was making a coin because, people who didn't know about it were like with their friends who are contrarians who were like, I can make my own cryptocurrency right now. You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. Man coin. There we go. See, it's made. Like,
nah, man, don't you mean fraud coin or subtle cash?
I mean, I'm not gonna make my own. I'm definitely never gonna make a cryptocurrency. Sorry, guys. There'll be no fraud cash, no fraud coin. There'll be no subtle coin coming out of me. All right. If that does come out, that person, I'm gonna sue. You stole my image. You stole my brand. I'm gonna fight you. Give me the money.
All of it.
All of it. Yeah, but nah, I'm never gonna make a cryptocurrency. But yeah, people were like, oh, you can make a cryptocurrency. It's not gonna be worth anything. And Dogecoin is still kind of not worth anything right now. So they're kind of right.
I can't remember what show it was. I want to say it was an episode of Recess. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I could have sworn there was an episode where every kid just started making their own currency and all the currency just becomes worthless. I could have sworn it was a whole episode based on this.
I think that was actually Recess. I know it was a kid show.
Like, I could have sworn there was where like they were all exchanging like Mon stickers or something like that.
Oh yeah, Mon stickers. Yeah, that was Recess.
Yeah,
That
and
was
then
Recess.
someone else was like, "Nah, I'm gonna make my own," and then it just got to the point where the market was oversaturated and there's just bullshit. And it's like, well, hey guys, if a show about elementary school kids could teach you about it, don't fall for the grift, guys. Don't fall for the scam. Because if you got in early, you made the money. You made the money. If you get in now, you're just going to tread water for a while until eventually the shoe drops. Because eventually Elon Musk, much like most billionaires, are going to get bored. And he's just going to be like, all right, I'm good. And he's going to pull out. And once that shoe falls, R.I.P. GG, you lose. You get nothing.
That's a wrap. Like the millionaires and billionaires are just going to keep making their money, and like it's not going to be a loss to them because it's like, oh, I lost like $200,000. That's cool. I'll make it tomorrow.
Yeah, he's just gonna roll over, but I'll sell 2 Teslas tomorrow. That's right.
Exactly.
Because Tesla's not a cheap brand, guys. Like, I don't know if y'all know that, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Exactly.
You can't just come out there and just label a car the 2022 edition and call it the legendary edition. Can't do that. I mean,
Video games.
No, video games can do that all the time. I mean, Mass Effect just came out with a legendary edition, and look, if you got that game on console, you're living La Vida Loca. You living without a care in the world. That game is straight up heat. Why? because I mean 2 and 3 have never looked better. And the first game got all the quality of life choices and quality of life, upgrades that, make it more akin and aligned with 2 and 3. So it actually, feels like a more holistic experience. It doesn't feel like, oh, it hasn't aged well. So, it's nice that, it got that touch up, it got that love, it got that full, it got the gusto of the whole series. And now all 3 games, from a gameplay perspective, can still ride out into the sunset, locking in arm step, and just, look good while doing it. Which, let's face it, a lot of games cannot say the same when it comes to some of their predecessors. I mean, let's face it, folks, there's a reason why Metroid had to remake both the first game and the second game, because anything on the NES definitely didn't age well at any point in time. Outside of what? Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt? Like, have you seen the original Legend of Zelda?
Oof. It looks bad. It's pretty bad.
And this is to say that, Mass Effect 1 was that archaic or has degraded to such a, to such a point like the aforementioned games, but it was definitely a couple steps behind its sequels. And now they've closed that gap, so that's nice to see. However, if you got the game on PC, you're on the struggle bus. And it's not because the game is terrible or the game is awful, but there are definitely some running problems and some performance issues that have been blaring up. And that the community, much to their credit, the community has made mods that are going to allow them to, alleviate some of these problems. First problem is the mouse control in Mass Effect 1 is very wonky because it feels like mice. I don't know why I said mass. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, the Monstars took my talent, bro. I felt it. Anyway, mice acceleration is on. So basically, if you're moving your mouse, it just gradually gets faster to try to, overestimate and get faster as it's going. And, that's annoying as shit. Not a huge problem, but it could definitely annoy anybody out there. The ultra wide support doesn't include cutscenes. So
that's a pretty big problem right there.
So your gameplay is looking crisp, and then the cutscene is just big letterboxes, bro. You just hold this L. They're 16:9 with the giant black bars, and then it goes back to being, full screen, which can be very jarring. It can probably take you out of some of the immersive bits of the game. But for a lot of us, this is like our second, third, 500th romp through the game. So we already know how this goes. We're not really necessarily taken aback, but it does suck that the cutscenes were not necessarily as touched up as you would like to have seen. But this is only an issue on PC. And yeah, for whatever reason, there's no FOV slider. So you're just locked to the standard FOV, even if you have an ultra wide monitor or curved monitor. You're someone who just has trouble seeing things in the distance. And this is something that like every video game on the planet that it's third or first person seems to have. And it would just be nice if that accommodation was thrown in there. But these are all things that can just be patched. All right.
Right.
But as far as the game itself, it's the good stuff, guys. It's the good stuff. Don't let those issues that people are complaining about on Steam stop you from enjoying some Mass Effect. If you've never been in the series, there's never been a more, we'll say, welcoming time to get into the series. And if you're someone who's been on the fence about it, but you like the original 3 games and you're just kind of like, I don't know, like maybe, jump in there. Go get you some. I know some of the Steam reviews have been saying that, it's bad for these reasons. But let's face it, folks, it's not too terrible. Now, I have seen some reports, some people saying that it doesn't run at all for them. But you got to remember, this is Steam. If it doesn't run at all, they'll give you a refund. So, like,
right.
It's no risk to you financially here. So, that being said, do you have anything to say about Mass Effect?
Mass Effect is cool. Mass Effect is the space thing. Let's all forget about Andromeda because there's a new game that's coming out at some point in time, and yeah, that's it.
I wish I could forget about Andromeda.
Yeah, I watched you play that game. I'm sorry.
Yo, when that man twerked at me, bro, and then we had to get his race killed.
Oh yeah, the Miranda butt scenes were apparently taken out because like the camera angle in those scenes were like it was odd in the first place. It was like she was talking and then she was like bending over and they're like giant ass right here, and it's like, but they're having a very important conversation here, aren't they?
Well, here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. I thought that they saw that the camera was like all up in her ass, so they just moved the camera up. I didn't think they took the scene out. If they took the same out, then that sucks.
I mean, I heard that they took it out, but I haven't played the Legendary Edition to like see that particular scene. So if they did, I haven't seen anything that's like, oh my god, I can't believe they, like whatever. Initially, the announcement was that they were going to do it, but I don't know if they actually went through with it in the final version. But if you haven't played Mass Effect, check out check out the Legendary Edition because it's giving you what the game is. There's just like a few technical difficulties when it comes to certain settings, but that's about it. Everything else is still Mass Effect. It's all still really good, so you're still gonna have a good time.
So ultimately, if you're interested, go ham, brothers and sisters, go ham. But thank you for coming out. I know it's a little bit of a shorter rendition of the Clout.WAV podcast, but it's been a relatively slow week. There has not been anything that that we felt was worth talking about for a long period of time outside of the Strive beta. So
yeah, we're not talking about Israel versus Palestine, guys. Nah,
we're not even going there. And to be honest, I'm just not that informed on that subject. I'm not even gonna cap. I'll admit it.
Like, I'm somewhat informed, and I would never like I don't have a reason to like talk about it or give my opinion on that. Honestly, like I barely have an opinion on that situation because one, I'm not like dedicated to the situation of like I don't know every single like nook and cranny of it, and most of the things that I do know about it are like opinions of, well, you guys don't understand where Palestine is coming from. You guys don't understand where Israel is coming from. And it's like it's a complicated situation. Like you're not gonna solve it.
All I know is throughout history, anybody who's fucked with Israel swings back.
Exactly.
They're not for the stalling around talking about maybe we can have some diplomacy. Nah, you throw a rock, we throw a missile. They've been like that.
Oppression is literally involved in that situation. Yep. So nah, we're gonna stay away from that.
Yep. But anyways, appreciate y'all coming through. And if you guys have any talking points that y'all want to get at in the next episode, go ahead and let us know in the comment section below. And I will see you guys next time. Now, I'm going to shut down the stream and come back in about 10 minutes, play some Guilty Gear Strive beta since I am in the beta. And yeah, see you next week.
See you next week. The internet was a mistake.